Hello everybody, this is Revolution Talk. My name is Zeta Ceti. We are here at MJUnpacked Live 2023 in New York City. I'm here with Patrick Rea, Poseidon Garden Ventures. How you doing, man?
Great.
Good, awesome.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. So Patrick, tell us about Poseidon Garden Ventures and what you guys are doing in the space.
Yeah, we're a venture capital fund focused on the cannabis industry, early stage, pre-series A, licensed operation technology, $20 million fund we've been deploying for the last year and a half, and yeah, we're continuing to look at investments in the cannabis industry.
That's awesome. And you got a really good history with the cannabis industry. I've seen you for a long time, and I think it was a Canopy Boulder.
Yeah. I started working in the cannabis industry in 2013. And was one of the first investment funds in the space, modeled in an accelerator model, and we launched 110 ancillary technology companies in the space, including companies like Work, which does payroll processing, BDS, analytics, it does data, Pot Guide, which got acquired by a Canadian company, Abaca, FinTech, and many, many, many more.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a good portfolio, actually.
We've done a lot. It's been a busy couple of years.
Yeah. And so you guys are actively investing in like just pre-licensed operations or post-licensed startup? Like, give us an array of what that looks like.
Yeah. For licensed operations, because of our return targets, usually we're investing pretty early. So that can be a team that's going for a license in a competitive state, or structure an investment for after. If they do win the license, we immediately fund. We've looked from north, south, east to west. We're really excited about the south turning on in some of these new states, and looking at North Carolina to see how that develops.
Sure.
But we also have invested in a lot of ancillary technology and services, which makes it a nice complementary portfolio of investments that can support one another.
Right, absolutely. It's important to have a wide array of that just to make sure one of them works out, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've got a team in Florida that we're backing that now our technology companies are getting embedded with. So it really makes like a portfolio approach work.
Yeah, and it actually creates harmony too, I think, in terms of like one can support another, and you can sort of plug in another, help another like portfolio company to help out another one. And
it sort of takes a village to be successful in this industry. You need a lot of people around you.
Right.
So we definitely we try to put together like almost like a mastermind of our founders that can help one another. We'll put together calls and meetups where they can get together and share their personal and professional experiences with one another around a topic like banking or data or marketing or whatnot. No one person is the expert in everything, but collectively, I think we try to bring the founders together to share, to do better for one another,
and create a solid foundation of institutional knowledge that can help support all the portfolios across the board.
Everybody, somebody's doing point of sale, somebody's doing e-com, somebody's doing gift cards, somebody's doing cultivation technology. Like, they all have a different perspective into the cannabis industry, and they engage with topics like banking or marketing or data from different perspectives. You bring them together, and it's like a YPO type thing for cannabis founders.
Right.
Because you join YPO, it's a great organization. You start talking about losing your bank account. It's like, there's some people there that are not gonna know what the hell you're talking about. Like, you lost your bank account for the 5th time. Like, that doesn't they're like, good to talk with you. See you later. So anyway, the idea is to bring sort of the leadership in the industry, the people that are doing things together now and help one another.
Yeah, and you're partnered with MJUnpacked and MJUnpacked, wonderful people, and you guys are an amazing team together, I would imagine, and having that institutional knowledge and all those different things, I imagine it works really well.
Yeah, we've tried to build an organization of good people in the cannabis industry. Right. So Emily and Morgan, myself, Colin Farian, who I met through Canopy Boulder. He's with me out in Boulder. We got Andreas in Miami. We got Tyler in New York. So we got people all over that are all feeding into this machine, and we're really looking forward to growing that over time as well as we do more and more things in the space. So we're having a good time.
So the census and the consensus in the capital markets right now is like, capital is very hard to find, and obviously we have a lot of environmental factors like inflation and just all kinds of different things. So I'd love to hear your outlook on currently what the portfolio companies look like and what's happening in that realm with you.
Yeah, investing in the cannabis industry is it's a challenging time for founders and entrepreneurs, honestly. because the earlier investors, the investors that came in 15, 16, 17, they've deployed their capital and they're looking for returns and exits, and because we haven't had as many exits as I think everybody hoped for, primarily based on the fact that we still are federally legal. We haven't seen as many groups from outside buying into the cannabis industry. A lot of those investors are like, well, once I start seeing exits, I'll put more capital in. So we're trying to drive our founders into thinking more about exits and being more realistic about, okay, if you're not going to have the big company from outside the cannabis come in and buy your technology, what opportunities exist for you to consolidate, either merge with other companies, buy other companies, sell to other companies now, so we can keep that flowing, right? So we can get investors capital and they'll invest back in.
And would you think that any, especially with some of your technology companies, diversification of creating new models for other sites and industries to bring other streams of revenue, is that something you guys thought about at all?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interest in founders in increasing the target addressable market for their technology, right? So if you have a gift card company, works in cannabis, why couldn't you do that in another vertical like beauty or natural products? I think you gotta own your home first. You gotta become the dominant player before you start moving into other jurisdictions. And expanding, but it makes a whole lot of sense because the technology and the services built in cannabis, highly regulated. They have to be very focused on being a must-have, not a nice-to-have for their customers. And then once you do that, you got it.
And with Poseidon Garden Ventures, I mean, you guys just you just mentioned that you guys raised like $20 million for that. So what kind of target companies do you think you guys are looking for in the next, I don't know, year or so?
Right now we're focused very much on licensed operators. We like retail, we like vertical operations, businesses that are good targets for acquisition, ultimately. We've done a whole lot of ancillary technology and services investing, and I think we're in a good space there, but right now we're spending a lot of time on licensed operations.
A lot of licensed operations. That's great, because we got a lot of new states coming up.
And I think we've learned from the last 10 years. We don't do a lot of investing in standalone cultivation. Processing is interesting because of the emergence of brands, and brands need backbones in different states. But I'd say that, when it comes to, if you can get a dispensary on First and Main, right? That's where a lot of
geography is very important.
Geography, it's real estate. A lot of the consumers are loyal to stores right now, and loyal to that bud tender, to that expertise, that product selection, and we see a lot of value there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because obviously, I mean, especially in manufacturing too. I mean, there's a lot of intellectual property deals that are happening in that realm as well, right? So that's really interesting. I've always a lot of folks have been like, how do I go into other other states, and they help us find local partners, but it's all intellectual property because you can't cross products across state lines. So that's a definite strategy that I've seen deployed over and over again.
Yeah, the asset light brand expansion definitely is growing up. Back when I started in 2013, 14, and we're getting pitches, and I'm like, why would somebody, it sounds nice, but show me that somebody wants to buy your brand. We've had a lot of water under the bridge now. We know better what consumers want, what they're looking for, way more than we did back then. It's just finding entrepreneurs that have that experience, that time in the market to understand that, and they're not going to pay for this or that because they know it's this that is going to move the needle for their products and their brands.
Absolutely. I think that's a very important insight. That's very important to understand, especially as an operator, that in order to expand, you don't need to spend all this money or buy all this or get all this infrastructure to do that. You can actually expand by IP. Right. And just say, I actually remember I was in a panel with Emily actually back then, and she asked me the question. So what do you think, Zeta? Should we expand by footprint or IP? It's always by IP if you can. Right.
I mean, it's the economics can be better. There are legal costs, and it's expensive to set up all these relationships, and I think it's important also to have a good quality management system in place to make sure your licensed partners are doing what they say they're going to do. Because it's tough being an operator, and sometimes like things slip. And but if it's your brand and your IP, you want to make sure you can sleep well at night, knowing that your partners are doing what they said they do. So I think that's important too.
Right.
But just generally in the product space, for us as investors, we like that hero product. We like that brand with good margins. But we know that in any consumer products category, what you have today will be different than what is driving your success tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And you need to have a focus on new product development, R&D, and evolving your current product to be better every cycle. You know, so change is constant.
And I know that Poseidon has an ETF, I believe, on the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, how's that going along?
Yeah, so PSDN is the ticker, and it is a sort of an ETF for investors that want to invest into the public markets. And frankly, it's a great time to be an investor in the public markets because valuations are so low. Moving to historic lows for valuations. So, you know, I think if people are interested, they can go look up PSDN and see how it's structured and how it's unique from some of the other ETFs.
Yes.
I will tell you that, you know, one of my partners, MJUnpacked, we always joke during any time he's awake, he's got one eye on the Bloomberg terminal. I mean, it's impressive what they're doing.
Okay, so for Poseidon Garden Ventures, what does the future look like? You guys going to do multiple rounds? What does this look like in terms of that?
Yeah, I mean, we're a pretty traditional venture fund. We're going to make an initial investment in a company for 400, 500K. We're going to see how it goes. And for those companies that are the highest performing portfolio companies, we'll do follow on. Yeah, we want to lead that next round. We want to be active investors, board seats, observer seats. We want to help with our networks that, like, you have a fantastic network that you've built up for such a long time. You know, Emily, Morgan, and I have been in the industry since 2013, 14, and we stand on the shoulders of greatness. But we have our own networks that we've built up too.
Awesome.
And like this show, which was one of my early investments, you know, provides a whole network of folks that our portfolio companies can benefit.
That's awesome. Patrick, thank you so much for coming on the show. Awesome. Patrick Rea, Poseidon Garden Ventures. My name is Zeta. This is Revolution Talk. Thank you guys so much.